Hi everybody, this is Lori at Montrose Farms. We have another episode of Whimsy Wonders today, but Whimsy is being a little camera shy. So I'm here with Carol Ricketts Corey. She's the owner of Carol Makes, and she is doing a little drop spindling right now. So we want to talk a little bit about alpaca fleece. Alpaca fleece is actually the second finest animal fleece in the entire world. The finest fleece comes from their ancestors, the vicuña, who are still living in South America, but they're wild, and so the people down there only round them up every 2-3 years or so. So vicuña is pretty rare, super expensive. We raise Surrey alpacas here exclusively. Surrey is softer than Wakaya fleece because the scales on each hair, as you might want to call it, are lay flatter. So that makes for a smoother feel. Wakaya tends to have a little bit more memory than Surrey. Surrey is best used for drapey items like scarves and blankets and stuff, although it can be blended with other types of fiber. So we're going to talk about spinning today. So once you have this beautiful fiber and it's been sheared, that was our previous Whimsy Wonders episode, what do you do with it? So I'm going to turn it over to Carol, who is much more proficient in shearing than I am, and she can discuss the process.
Are you on?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. Hi, I'm Carol, and I have been spinning for just about 20 years now. I took a class and got hooked and just kind of went down that rabbit hole. So after you get the shearings or a fleece together, there are multiple steps for you to be able to spin from it. You have to go ahead and oh, beautiful.
We have some raw fleece here. We call it raw. That means that it's been sheared and nothing's been done to it. Hasn't been washed, hasn't been skirted.
Correct. Just right off the animal. Right off the animal, yes. And I dropped a lock down here.
Oh my God, there goes the money.
Money. So when I get it, if I'm processing a whole fleece, I'm gonna break it down into smaller, manageable measurements for me, because I do this out of my home. I'm not a large-scale fiber mill. So I'm going to break it down into several smaller pieces, and I'm going to wash it first. Excuse me. So I'm going to actually scour it, which is super hot water and then a gentle cleanser. And you're going to have to do it probably 3 or 4 times. It also depends on the personality of the alpaca and how dirty they like to get in the day. But you want to let it soak for at least 30 minutes in the hot soapy water, and then you are gently pouring out that water, and you will keep doing that until the water runs clear. That's when you know it is good to go. Then you're going to lay it out to dry. I try to find some place outside, but that is wind protected so that it doesn't just fly away. And then you're going to need to get either hand carders, which look like pet flicker brushes. Hi, dear. Hi. Pet flicker brushes. And it's what I tell kids is it's the same as brushing your hair. So you are opening up the fleece, you are making sure that like all of the locks are able to come apart, and you're brushing it. Then I would put it through a drum carder, which is just a fancier, bigger hand carder, and that can make you big bats or roving that looks like this, which comes in like more manageable pieces when you're doing spinning, whether it's hand spinning or you're doing on a wheel.
So Carol, I'm going to ask you about some terms.
Okay.
We explained raw fleece. What's the difference between a bat and roving? And row log?
So roll logs are made on like a 12 by 12 board, and you can blend all of the fibers. A lot of fiber artists like to use the blending board to do like different colors and to mix types of wools and fibers together. And then you're going to get these two little like chopsticks and you roll them up, and they are these little rolls, and then you spin directly from that. So it is carded, it's prepped, it's ready to go. When I do bats, bats are on the drum carder, and you also can blend colors, textures, fibers. Generally, roving is from one animal, one color.
Okay.
So you would use roving to make your art bats or to use in your
Spinning. Drum carder.
no, blending board
Blending board.
for the Rolags.
Okay.
But so yeah, this is just one. So this is alpaca. It's not been dyed. It still has a lot of VM in it.
VM stands for vegetable matter.
Just shows you that it was on a farm. I like some of it, you know. It makes you realize that it came from a living being, and yeah. And then when you start to spin, it's a good idea to get little smaller manageable pieces. And then I start pulling apart a little bit. This is called pre-drafting.
Got an interested student right there.
I do. Hello.
Can you do that?
He said, no, I just need the hair.
My part's done.
Right. So typically when I teach beginners how to spin, we do it first on the drop spindle. And that's because there is quite a price difference between drop spindles and spinning wheels. There are two different main types of wheels. This is a top whorl. There are spindles that are bottom whorl, but for beginners, I do the top. And there is a notch here. We've put on our leader yarn. Here is the notch, and I'm gonna wrap it around this hook. And you are just manually spinning. And I've got more here.
Somebody described yarn to me once as, or the art of spinning as adding twist and tension.
Yes.
Is that a pretty basic explanation?
Yes. Yeah. So you are creating yarn by, adding twist, and you're letting gravity do its course by, and that'll happen. That's okay.
So, I mean, how forgiving is this as you're working with it?
I think it's very forgiving. You also just need to realize that your first yarn is going to be precious to you.
My first time on a drop spindle, mine looked like art yarn.
Yes.
Which means that it was bulky in some areas and skinny in other areas, but not on purpose.
Right. But you know what? There are people out there that will pay good money
like,
for art yarns.
Yeah, that's true. But but that was the hard part for me, was getting consistency, and I'm still not good at that.
Yeah. And so then when I get far enough, I'm pinching to hold the twist, and then
and you wrap it around.
Wrap it around.
And then
keep
start
going.
over.
Yep.
Okay.
Make sure you're always going the same way, otherwise you're going to take out the twist.
Good point.
And there are some amazing people on YouTube and TikTok that can make this thing spin like for 5 minutes and it just keeps going. That's not me, I'm sorry.
So it doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh no.
So what you're making is a ply.
Yes, this is a single ply. And if you get fancy enough that you're going to ply on a drop spindle or you're going to ply on a wheel, you just have to remember the direction in which you spun, because you're going to take 2 of your singles and go the opposite direction.
Oh.
That's what will make it stick together.
Stay together.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Because I notice a lot of yarns seem to be 2-ply these days.
Yeah. I try to ply all of my yarns, but I end up doing a Navajo ply on the wheel, and that's just where it's plied back on itself. So you don't have to do like multiple bobbins.
Okay. I have some yarn that they call barber pole,
Yes.
which means it is
Yeah,
one
you
ply
have
of
to-
one ply of black and one ply
Yes.
of white, and it makes a very pretty yarn.
And then all I'm doing is when I get to the end of my fiber, I'm kind of overlapping the 2 pieces. So the piece that I was just working on and the piece that I'm adding, whether you're on a wheel or you're on a spindle, I'm just overlapping them, making sure there's a good twist, and keep going.
You make it look so easy.
Well, again, 20 years.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, please be forgiving of yourself and have grace with yourself, because this is hard. This is not something that everybody learns how to do.
But once you get the hang of it, I mean, I
Yes.
see people, especially with the big wheels, they just seem like they're just kind of relaxed, and they're just
yeah.
spin, 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 and it's just a very calm exercise,
Right.
kind of.
But we are preserving the craft and the tradition of hand spinning,
Yay.
whether it's drop spindle or spinning wheel. And not everybody can do that, but it's an important thing to do. Spinning has been around for centuries,
Yes.
and so we must carry it on.
And I love that. That's a tie-in. This is the farm's bicentennial year, 200 years. So I love that this is an old craft that they would probably have done here on the farm before. So I love that. That's cool.
And actually, my great grandfather's great grandmother was a traveling spinner and weaver
Oh, wow.
during the Civil War, and she was in the Ohio River Valley, which is like Cincinnati, Madison, that whole area. She would come to your house and she would have room and board in exchange for spinning whatever animal you had. She loved spinning flax the most.
Huh.
And she would spin it, and then she would weave your winter blankets.
Wow.
Until she fell in love with one of the sons of the family that she was with, and he went off to the Civil War and died, and she married his brother.
Oh my gosh, what a great story. Whoa. Wow.
So sometimes I think of her when I'm spinning and when
No,
I'm
that's
weaving.
cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. So we're going to do a class here. Carol's going to teach drop spinning
Yep.
on June 29th.
Mhm.
Tickets are available. And so the class comes, you get to take your drop spindle home.
Yes.
We're going to give you, what is it, a quarter pound of
Mhm.
roving, I think
Yep.
it is. And she'll be here to teach everybody how to do it and get started so that you can practice on your own and start your obsession with spinning.
Yes.
Your 20-year obsession
Yes.
with spinning. So
And I'll bring my drum carter, and I'll bring
super.
a lot of those tools so you can see
somebody can see.
what it's what it's like, and you can
Yeah.
even try them out if you'd like.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we hope to see a lot of you here. It's a really fun class. We sit out on the deck around the koi pond. It's very relaxing and enjoyable. And yeah, so go to our website or
Yep.
Facebook page for tickets, and we would love to
Yeah.
see you guys here.
Wonderful.
All right, so much for Whimsy, but
Well, there's someone right here.
oops. Oh, there you are. She's wondering in private. So did we answer all your questions, Whims?
Yeah. Oh, no, okay. No worries.
All right, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye.